just wanted to talk about my last project that I just did. I originally used this dash off of Thingiverse. And it's pretty decent. Using it for a while, but I wanted to kind of round these corners up here, make it a little more compact. Just because of the type of LEDs, you couldn't get a lot more compact, but I did shave off a little bit. And I also wanted, instead of these little holes, I wanted to just put some black acrylic over it, kind of like my matrix. So there's black acrylic over these pieces, but this was kind of like my inspiration for it. So did something somewhat similar, but did it from scratch. I didn't actually remix this one. But yeah. So if you look at some of the what they used, I used the 4-inch VoCore screen, and the reason I actually did the 4-inch was because I wanted to use VoCore like pretty much all the wheels are today, and then I wanted to not have to design one myself. I ended up doing that anyway, but now that I've learned how to use Fusion or AutoCAD Fusion, now these things are much easier than they were before. I probably would have started from scratch knowing that, but it was nice to have this this model here to kind of start from and kind of learn what I wanted. So basically, you're going to have two 8 LED strips soldered together at the top, and then a couple 4s, and it does have links in the model here. Also have a link to my uploaded models, and kind of show what I actually used in the description of that, similar to what he has here. He has more options. I may, if I were to do it again, I'd probably just go with a 5-inch VoCore, which isn't too much more. It's like $10 more. So, so that's really the only big difference you'd have. You have a larger screen. So I can make a model for that if anybody's interested. And I would probably switch to that and then reuse my 4-inch for another display, like tires or fuel or, any of that stuff, sort of thing. So make a new enclosure for the 4-inch without the LEDs and stuff. So that could be a cool add-on as well. So so on the rev lights, I actually used these ones. Now he actually has on his F-Zero. He actually says that he uses a couple different ones. There's a couple different models. The NeoPixel LEDs. So I could probably make a model with that. I do want to find some LEDs though that don't have the extra spacing on it. So if you look at these, there's like this little extra space here. It would be nice to see it more compact. The sides actually use these ones. So you see how compact it is. I like that, sort of thing. So this is what he linked to me, and I'll link it in mine as well. But this is what we use from Banggood. But everything seemed to turn out well. So none of these are bad. It's just when I turn up the brightness, they start like going weird colors. But like I can turn it almost down to 1% in SimHub, and it's totally fine. So that'll work out. Also added that F-Zero didn't have was magnets on it, so I actually want to pop it on and move it around, move it to a different location. Like if I got a round wheel, it obstructs my dashboard now, so I can actually move it around. I haven't decided if I want multiple mounting locations on the same one, where I mount it higher or lower, so I can see it through the wheel, or I just mount it to the side. I'm thinking about mounting it to the side, but when I go back to using more round wheel, I'll decide what I'm going to do there. So those are all the components I used for it. So now on the models. So if I jump into Fusion, I've got here's like the front plate. So see, I cut the whole thing wide open here. So I'm actually cut some acrylic black acrylic and just popped it in there. So if we spin this around, we can see a few mounting holes. So I also made it so that the screws aren't at the front, they're at the back, kind of like pretty much any electronics. And I have mounting screws here for a little bracket. I'll show you that in a second. But you see, like that VoCore screen, if you look at it, it has like a little extra space. So you had to account for that, and you didn't want it to be uneven. So one side is less space than another. I was hoping to make that a little smaller, but I can't do it just because of the screen. So there's a limitation there. But other than that, modeled holes in each one of these for M3 screws, and then for the brackets, you just tighten down the bracket with a screw, instead of trying to have it fit by what do you call it? Just by tight fit. No. Okay, so now let's look at the dashboard back cover. So as you see, one drawback probably to this model is you see how close. Oops, let's undo that. See how close these screw holes are, and they kind of cut into the fillets on here. So it does work, but it makes the screws kind of stick out a little bit if your screw heads are too big. So that is one drawback there. Another thing I wanted to add was actually put a single USB port in here instead of just putting the wires in, because you're going to have Arduino, and you're going to have a VoCore USB that goes through there. So probably an upgrade would be to put a single USB-C back here and have it wire in both of those devices into one. If that's possible. So obviously it's possible because the other guys have figured that out. So but that would be an upgrade. But works for the first edition, I think. All right, so here's a little bracket. So I just wanted to hold in the sides, the screen at the bottom here, and then the leads, at the top, so you just bolt that down with the M3 screws. So that works out. And then I also did a front mount, and this also has a magnet in it. So, if I inspect, not that. We'll inspect, do section analysis, on this plane, and then we move this down. How come I can't move that? No. Here we go. So if we move that down 1, -1, then you can see now that there's a place for the magnet in there, and we'll see that in the slicer. So let's cancel that, and you'll also see that in the back cover. If I do go to inspect and do section analysis, and then let's choose this, and then that's too far. I'll just do -1. And there it is right there. So you're able to just pop, basically you could pause and pop a magnet in there. And I kind of show you that in the slicing software. So if I use a Prusa. So I've loaded the back cover here. So all you really have to do is, let's click on slice, and this will actually give us all the layers, and you could actually use this to go through each layer. So you see this little pause right here. I've previously done this when I printed it. So if I go all the way down, you can see where it's covering that top layer, and then there she is right there. So at this layer, it'll actually pause it, move the bed down, and actually press that magnet in there. I did not need glue because it's such a tight fit. I just measured it with the caliper, and then it just pressed right in there, sort of thing. And it didn't move, once I had that in there. And then just to continue the print, so that worked out quite well. So yeah, I'll add all the links to these files if you want step files, to modify it yourself as well. But I'm open to making modifications, and upgrading this as I go, because I am using this for myself. So any improvements to the rigs it always makes me happy. So anyways, I'll show you this install next, and the use of kind of like the magnet and how it snaps in. All right, thanks. Bye.